Howdy y'all, welcome back to the Loose Juice channel. Today I'm back in the garage. My garage is still kind of not the way it was before with the party that I had, but I've got the Road King here. I've got a box with a part in it, and we're gonna see if maybe, just maybe, through the good help of my friends on the internet, if I have an easy, cheap solution to get my bike back up and running. So I've been avoiding doing this work because I fear it's more than just this part, and I didn't really want to have to tear the bike down. So I've been avoiding it because I don't have a lot of money to just throw at this right now. So if it's not this $15 part, then this bike might very well may sit for a bit. But I did buy a service manual as well. I don't remember where I put it. I know I have it somewhere, but we got good old YouTube University on how to replace a heat temperature sensor. So let me kind of show you what I'm talking about. For a little bit of context, I went on a trip to Ohio the day of recording today is August 27th, but this was like July 21st. I think that sounds right. And we were getting ready to go to the meet reading writer at Throttle Vintage Motorcycle Company in Columbus, Ohio. And this bike it was idling fine, both cylinders working fine, doop, 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 doop. And then I just literally after 20 seconds of idling, it went down to one cylinder. Turned out it was dropping the front cylinder. Weird. At the time, we had no idea. Parked it in the garage, just went on with our day. It sucked, but whatever. I got the bike back, trailered it. That was a lot of travel, but anywho's in house, Phil Zilla, thanks buddy, he pointed out that he has had a similar issue with a Harley before where it went into limp mode because the heat temperature sensor just went faulty. So I'm pointing this direction because that sensor lives back here. I've got my finger on it. I don't know how well you can see it. So to get after it, it looks like maybe we just got to pop the horn off really quick. That might give us enough space to kind of get in here. And then try to remove that sensor, replace it. Again, if this is all that fix, if that's what gets this bike out of limp mode and firing on two, that's pretty excellent. That being said, I am apprehensive that it's that, because there's a variety of reasons that it could go into limp mode. Just doing the slightest bit of research on it, could be something to do with the throttle by wire and the voltages that play into that system. It has to have at least 5 volts. So if you have a wire that is rubbing or shorting somewhere and its voltage dropping, that would be just automatically putting the bike in limp mode. All right, and then before anybody asks, yes, we checked if it had any engine codes. No engine light, no engine codes. So from talking with Phil and then reading on the online, it doesn't always throw a code when it goes into limp mode. You need a Power Vision diagnostic tool, or some Harley diagnostic tool to go in there for it to actually see the code. But we did walk through the process of how to actually check the codes and all that stuff, so I promise there were no codes. So if it was just codes, that'd make this a whole lot easier, but that's why we were so confused. That's okay, we'll figure it out. So I'm gonna get this horn off and then we'll see about how easy it is to replace this sensor. Cool. Okay, I got the horn out of the way. I put it up on this little lift. I know I've got this other lift right here, but it's a little occupied and I'm just a little lazy to do this quick little thing. So you don't really need a lift for this. So I pulled back the cover for this sensor. You can kind of see it. So I've got to unplug the sensor, which I got to grab this little tab here, and this should just kind of, oh, I just broke that tab off. Great. So that sensor is a little brittle. That will end up being a little bit of a problem because that tab just broke off of this side of it, not the sensor side. And then from reading online, this is a 19 millimeter. I'm gonna get a wrench on that and see if I can get that out. Cool. Okay, I got it out. I know I probably should have showed it, but I did also have to disconnect this. It gave me a little bit more room, but you can see that hole. Boop. It goes right down in there. And this is our sensor. If I had my manual handy, I'm sure I could figure out if I had a multimeter handy, figure out if it's open because you know, you can check resistance and see if it's open or closed, and then read the manual to figure out if it's supposed to be normally open or normally closed. Yeah, I don't have it. I mean, probably do somewhere. All right, I just opened up. This is the brand new one. There's the old one. They look like the exact same. So this was $15. I think there are other stores that you can get them for like 40 or 50 bucks, but I happen to find this one from the old Buddy Bezos website. This, I'm sure, will never come back to bite me in the ass. So let's get this back in there. Cool. It's really, I don't have my, normally I have a stand to hold my phone. You could watch me screw this in, but it's really just, it's just not complicated. I'm gonna thread this back in. Probably have to figure out something with the connector now, because the thing where this latch is on now just broke off. And so probably gonna have to get some electrical tape or something. I don't even know. I don't know how easy it is to replace this section of wiring harness. Probably not. Not this one, that's the horn. This guy. This guy here. So, I don't know, it's hard to record and grab stuff at the same time, but you get the point, I think, hopefully. I gotta figure something out. All right, I've got the sensor back in. I use some tape just temporarily, permanently, to fix the broken clip. I thought I had the piece of it that broke off. Yeah, so the little tab that, it's a keeper, a retaining keeper. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, that sucker snapped off. So, I'll have to either replace that section of harness, or if I can figure out how to replace just like the actual cup, like the, what do you call it? Yeah, like the terminal, the end piece, the male and female end piece that make the two, you know what I'm saying? I might be able to just repin it with a new piece so I have this again. But this means, and I did connect the fuel back, but yeah, we can try and fire this thing and see if it'll actually run now. Not gonna lie, if this is all it is, and I honestly haven't tried it yet. If this is all it is, I'm gonna like be kicking myself for not having just done this quicker. Life has been so busy, but this just really doesn't take that long. So without further ado, all right, so I fumbled this. I did just have it running. It runs on one. This is what it did before. So maybe you can see it is dumping fuel. All right, so that means it was not the heat temperature sensor. Uh-oh, so what now? The other thing that people on the internet were saying was to check this little guy. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. Let's to check on this sensor, or this connection here. So this is your throttle position sensor. Sometimes this wire will get worn, and it is at an awkward angle. So while I'm bummed that it wasn't the heat temperature sensor, I'm not surprised. So I think the next step is just to try to get this clip off and check if there's any obvious wear marks here. Cool. Okay, I just popped that off. I had to do it with 2 hands. I have not done anything, but I'm noticing this discoloration here that maybe is nothing. I don't know though, but usually when the people online, when they were having issues with it, there was like obvious wear here. Again, I'm not really seeing anything obvious. So I'm just gonna plug this back in, and then maybe we just try firing the bike again and see if, maybe it's just a loose pin somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, it's just acting like it's in limp mode. I think, at least to my understanding, right? So let's try it again. See, now we got nothing. Isn't that fun, right? That is quite peculiar, right? It was just running on one, and now it's running on a none. Woo! Big old backfire there. So it's getting fuel, it's getting spark. still running on one, and it just backfired out of the intake now too. So I think for today, that's probably gonna do it. I will now start the process of, I gotta read through the manual. I gotta call 1-800-ASK Shelby, see what he thinks, and go from there. And I'm trying to not be too bummed about it, but I kind of figured it's just something that I don't know. So Harleys are still new to me, admittedly, and you got to be about a twin cam expert to know, and I'm sure Shelby will know exactly what's wrong with this fucking thing. So, cool. Okay, pause. Right after I shut off the camera, I had an idea, because sometimes it's good to just sit and think on it. I'm like, I'll check the codes again. Now, when I went and did the diagnostics on, it was the very first, there's a bunch of like letters, and I think the first letter is P. Went into P, and we got P0132. And I haven't even Googled it yet, so let's go do that. P0132 is oxygen sensor, O2 sensor. So in a roundabout way, what very well may have happened, and this all could have been from bad gas, is I can guarantee you that's what Rainey was gonna say, because he mentioned that before. Interesting that it's throwing the code now and it didn't throw it before. So I can replace the sensor, because maybe it is a bad sensor, and then maybe that's another thing I check. But Rainey just went through a whole process of replacing O2 sensors on his Harley, and I think he did it twice, and it ended up just being bad gas. So I hope that's all it is, and if there's a way, no, would have to be the sensor, right? Because I don't know. I say, or it could be a litany of other things. So again, still gonna read the book. I'm gonna check some other trouble codes here, see if there's anything else that comes up, but more clues. Okay, I just clicked to there actually has another code, P0152. So let's Google that. All right, it looks like, again, that's an O2 sensor, so the other O2 sensor. All right, and then wouldn't you know it, yet another code, P1353. I didn't get a verified source, but it was a forum that said P1353 is an indication of no spark on the front cylinder, which is exactly what we've noticed. So that seems accurate. And then it looks like we've got another one, 1356. Let's check that. Okay, that is a rear cylinder misfire notification. And then let's keep going down the list. Now we've got all kinds of codes. Okay, just again, I'll put up a screenshot, but this code 1357 is an indication of intermittent, what do they call it? Intermittent spark on the secondary side of the front coil or something? I don't know. Look at the photo. All right, let's continue. That's the end. So that's for okay, that's PN 32999. What is that? I'm glad I'm recording. -11. Okay, I'm an idiot. Well, not an idiot. I have to learn these things, but apparently that's just the part number. So PN stands for part number 32999-11 that's the part number for the speedo. So let's go into the first of these. I don't know. I looked up another Google thread. So having those O2 sensor codes fly, apparently that is also indicative of the heat temperature sensor. I'm wondering if it just needs to clear those codes to run again. I don't know. Let's just try and run the damn thing again. Right? Nah, see, it don't like that. I don't know. I'm gonna quit fucking with it. I'm just gonna put it on a charger, do some more research, come back to it.
A few moments later.
Okay. I realized I've said a lot of shit, and I don't know. I feel like I've got a lot of evidence to work with. I got a big ass climber manual. I'm gonna try to do some light reading here. It's not a small book. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna post this video, and if any of you are like, I know exactly what's wrong with it, hit me up on Instagram at @theloosejuice. Any help is I'd take it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna do some reading before I don't know, cry? I don't know, but I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in and joining me on this adventure of figuring out what the hell is wrong with the Road King. I'm glad we actually made some progress today. For whatever reason, changing out the heat temperature sensor now allowed it to have codes. So that in itself is a clue to me. But yeah, I don't know. Till next time, y'all. Keep it juice.